A very interesting step was taken during the visit of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, when he came to UAE. And there was a launch of a new way to pay. All right, a new payment card was launched, and it's called Jaywan, which is built on India's digital RuPay credit and debit card stack for the UAE market. Also, UAE and India have agreed to link their instant payment platforms, so India's UPI and UAE's AANI, as this will promote a wider acceptance of credit and debit RuPay cards in the country. Now, is this a new step that we're taking into the digitized FinTech world? Yes or no? How will it work for us? What is Jaywan? How will it work? What will be the benefit of it? To understand all of these, because ये जब भी ऐसा कुछ होता है ना, तो हमारे दिमाग में हजार सवाल उठते हैं. And उस सवाल का जवाब देने के लिए हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं Dilip Jain. He's a financial expert. Dilip, welcome to TSB. How are you doing today?
All well, very fine, and it's a very great to speak on this innovative step which the UAE has taken in collaboration with India.
Now, this is amazing. From what it looks like, it definitely looks like a very big step, as two collaborative countries coming in together to merge their financial transactions through a common platform. But what is RuPay? Because see, I haven't been to India in a very long. I mean, like, I keep going to India. Okay, but I haven't lived in India for a very long time now. Whenever I go there for a few days and I come back. So the developments there in the financial world is something which is still an alien concept to me. And I'm sure it would be likewise for a lot of expats who live here, who haven't gone to India for a long time. What is the RuPay and what is the, how is it used?
Let's take an example. Few of the friends are going for a picnic, and then I spend something, he spends something. So generally, then I need to settle the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Or suppose I need to borrow some money, a few dirhams for someone. The only option right now is that I need to take his bank account, create his bank account ID, and then do the transfer.
Right.
And generally, it takes sometimes 24 hours to create the beneficiary and then do the transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine another situation where a person is in India and then he's buying something from a street vendor shop, maybe some food or any other daily stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He goes there and he doesn't have any change, so the shopkeeper just tell him, please pay by the RuPay or any UPay credit card or Phone Pay or Bharat Pay.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly, what the mechanism is that it is a mobile number linked mechanism whereby as soon as you make the payment to that person's mobile number, the mobile number of the payer and the payee both is linked to the bank account.
Okay.
So that no other verification is required. And as soon as you see the details, you press how much amount you want to transfer, and immediately it is getting credited to his bank account.
This is incredible.
And also, and then there is no details to transfer the bank beneficiary and IFSC code and other details, which is quite confusing for a lot of the people who are not very educated. And you believe me, nowadays, even if you ask for a small street shop or a street vendor or even for a person who is driving, they don't want cash.
Right.
In fact, you will be amazed to know that 10 billion transactions happen every month in India now on the UPI based cards,
Wow.
which is Unified Payment Interface. And this number is so large that if you compare it to any other country who is using the digital payment,
Mm-hmm.
none of the countries even come very close, even second to the numbers which India is doing.
No, obviously,
Now,
with the kind of population that India has, that any number or any technology that is introduced at a nation level, the extrapolation of those numbers would be instant and would be huge.
correct, but the story doesn't end here because
Okay.
let's take another example. I'll give you three examples so you can understand the greatness of this platform and the product.
Mm-hmm.
So, the person is coming from India, and as you know, all the people want to buy gold and do a lot of shopping here.
Right.
So, currently, always the people have the restriction. Okay, do I need to carry dirhams? Do I need to carry dollars on the Indian rupee? When they come here, when they buy gold, they are always short of money, and then they are literally they feel that I should have carried more, and there are a lot of foreign exchange restrictions. Now with this RuPay card, what happens is that it is like a seamless integration where if you are in India and you are using this Jaywan card, you can make the payment in the local currency in India.
Okay.
And if you are coming from India and you are having the RuPay card, you can make the payment in the local currency here.
But that is
So,
something that you can always do with your Visa or MasterCard, can't you?
correct. So just imagine this is a replacement of the Visa or MasterCard.
Oh, now wait. Did you just say that RuPay is essentially a platform which is fighting the giants like Visa and MasterCard?
You can say that, but more importantly is that in those cases it is like a credit card or debit card, and their cost of transaction may vary from 2 to 3%.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about the RuPay card is that the cost would be not, it definitely is lower than 25%, but it could be still much cheaper.
Okay.
And the direct secured advantage is that it is directly linked to your bank account, like a debit card, so the amount is immediately deducted from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 largest banks in India had come to bring this unified payment gateway. And now today, Jaywan is also accepted by many banks in UAE like ADCB or Mashreq Bank and AANI and other banks.
Okay.
So it's like a seamless. If you are transferring money to India, also the person will simply use his RuPay card and can simply transfer the money to his own account. And this is just about the individual. Imagine for the e-commerce or a
Mm-hmm.
person who is doing business. So suppose someone he has to make the payment to an India. So currently he will transfer the dirham to dollar and then do the transfer from
Right.
dollar to rupee, and that takes a lot of time and a lot of paperwork. Here he simply has the RuPay card, give the details about the RuPay card to the person about India, make the payment from his card directly, and immediately the money get instantly credited to his account.
Wow.
So in business side and commerce side, again, it would be a big game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Also, now you see the whole in the entire transaction, the transaction is happening without the usage of currency conversion for the dollar.
Right.
So it is dirham and rupee are talking to each other without the need to be getting converted through the dollar route, which is a big game changer in the financial world.
Which is true. I mean, you've completely eliminated the dollar, right? And the conversation that is happening between UAE and India, which also primarily means that when you eliminate one step, so for the buyer or the seller, you are also saving on the transactional cost that happens when you are transferring one currency, the forex, the fees that you pay when you're transferring from one currency to the other, from the other to again the Indian rupee.
Yeah, and one more thing, very important concept because of this, if you look into the Jaywan and the Rupee card, is a social concept called financial inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me give you another example. There is a street vendor who is selling some vegetables or selling some gift and toys and some festivities item. No one speaks to him, and forget that he even have a bank account. No one will give him a loan.
Right.
Now, because of this RuPay card, what happens whenever he makes any payment, the payment comes to his bank account because it is directly linked to through the UPI interface.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a person has a turnover of say millions and millions of dirhams, which was in cash, and earlier no one would be willing to accept that he has so much of transaction.
Right.
And now he has a history which is recorded on a very formal manner of the amount of money which is receiving on the credit, like a bank statement.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, suppose he's taken and the bank would be willing to give him a loan right now because he has a credit history. His business history is there, his turnover history is there, his suppliers and debit and credit history is there. So suddenly, millions of people who are out of the banking system, who are not eligible for a loan, and also where the loans was getting to them at a rate of 25 to 50% or 30%, now simply they can get a loan at even say 80%, which is the normal standard rate, 8 to 10%. So suddenly the entire Pandora of all the people who are not eligible for loans, they become eligible, and the numbers can be huge. And if you speak about India, the population size, where maybe 10 to 20% of the people were not even having bank account,
Mm-hmm.
and now 24 crore bank account has been opened recently, which is 250 million accounts, and see so many people now having the benefit of the banking system. And RuPay card is one of the gateway to bring them to this financial inclusion.
I'll tell you very honestly, Dilip. I had gone to India and I was traveling, in the last year, and during that travel, and like you rightly mentioned, that small vendors and all of that, they all had a QR code pasted on their shop front. Okay,
Correct.
be it the small चाय वाला, वो चाय की टपरी होती है जहाँ पे 5 रुपए की चाय
Correct.
मिलती है, चाय,
Correct.
राइट, वहां से
Correct.
लेकर चाहे वो पान की दुकान हो, चाहे सब्जी वाला हो. I'm not talking
Correct.
big brands, big stores. I'm talking about these
Yeah.
small vendors, right? Literally सड़कों पे बैठ के टोकरी लगा के बैठी हुई थी एक आंटी, उसके
Correct.
पास भी
Correct.
एक
Right.
QR
Right.
कोड
Right.
था. I was curious कि ये क्या होता है, कैसे होता है. I asked my cousin and he looked at me as if like तुम अनपढ़ गवार लोग, तुम बाहर रहते हो, तुमको ये भी नहीं पता कि ये क्या होता है. And I
That
didn't
is
want,
true. That is
है
true.
ना, क्योंकि ये टेक्नोलॉजी इतना डीप इसका पेनिट्रेशन है, द वे इट हैज गॉन डाउन टू द लोएस्ट कॉमन डिनोमिनेटर. एंड यू आर राइट, आई डिडंट हैव टू पुट माय हैंड्स इन माय पॉकेट टू पुल आउट कैश, ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज माय कजिन वाज पेइंग फॉर एवरीथिंग, बट बट ही वाज आल्सो नॉट टेकिंग आउट कैश, ही वाज आल्सो स्कैनिंग एवरी सिंगल प्लेस. वो उस पे स्कैन करता था, वहां पे स्पीकर पे आवाज आती थी और काम हो जाता था. Now,
Correct. If you look into the Indian youth who are into the college and other places,
mhm,
for them making day-to-day shopping, those who are staying in the PGs and making the daily vendor payments and everything. In fact, I was talking to when my daughter shifted from Bangalore to Dubai recently.
mhm,
She was also surprised to know that you do not have any mechanism where we can simply go and ask for the phone number and make the payment.
right,
And she has never used cash for many years to come. She is
true.
always using this e-pay channel, and this is something which is yet to be started
So
in UAE.
will we get to see with Jaywan and Rupee coming in together? Will we get to see something like that happening in the UAE?
Surely, because what happens, people nowadays, if when you want to carry cash,
Hmm.
it is so convenient, especially to settle small transactions. And even not all the people may have a bank account,
True.
and everyone who should be so sophisticated. Some people may do small transactions where for example, even informally, someone is selling something, not selling actually, but yeah, you are buying something which may not be a properly, I would say, a proper business license, for example.
Right.
Like you might be buying some food or any other taking some small help. So you can simply use a RuPay card and make the payment to the person.
No, this is amazing. Also, like you mentioned that,
So
within
for small
peer to
people,
peer
for
also.
SME,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So the lot of apps which are coming having this financial wallet, and then the wallet is built on this FinTech platform which is linked to the bank account. I think this RuPay card and this interface may simply stake the entire market because the cost is low and it is so seamless and well positioned and well guaranteed from the Indian banking system already, and proven already it's worth worldwide now.
And if one has to apply for the Jaywan card here in the UAE, is it open to everyone, and or do we need to have like a specific base minimum salary or anything like that to apply for those?
What I understand right now, if you have an Emirates ID, and then for the few banks which I can read is like ADCB and Mashik and other banks, we still need to see the process part of it, how the
Okay.
bank are actually releasing, because it's a new card.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once who has an Emirates ID, I don't think anything else would be required to open the account, and definitely a mobile number in his own name to link it to the OTP and the SMSs.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dilip, for a detailed conversation about this. Because whenever something new comes up, everyone has to has two reactions. One is they get excited just because there's something new coming up. The other set of people get confused. कि अब ये क्या नया आ गया? And I'm glad that you actually broke it down into the lowest common denominator in the simplest terms to explain it to all our listeners. Thank you so much, Dilip. I guess.
Thanks, Neil, and thanks for this wonderful evening opportunity.
Thank you so much. Dilip Jain, a financial expert, explaining this new step that we've taken in the fintech era with the launch of UPI RuPay card and Jaywan card, which was done by PM Modi when he came here in the UAE on his recent visit. Now, how will this change? Obviously, as time will tell, but one thing for sure, if you have been to India and if you've realized how things have changed as far as financial transactions are concerned at the lowest, smallest level, even as I said, the smallest chai wala, यानी कि 1 दिरहम का कड़क आप लेने जा रहे हो तो उसमें भी आपको 1 का कॉइन निकाल के देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. इंडिया में बिल्कुल वैसा ही चल रहा है, शायद यहाँ पर भी हो जाएगा. एंड कैसे होगा, क्या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होगी, विल कीप एन आई ऑन ऑल ऑफ दैट राइट हियर ऑन TSB